Hey everybody, it's me. Me. Well, basically I wanted to spin off a little bit of what I was talking about on the light skin versus darker skin African American women, but with a little twist. Because this is part of a bigger and broader problem, not just in African American community. I mean in the United States of America. Now, perhaps in Europe they have the same problem as well, but not to the extent that we do here. And I made another video called Media Imprinting. It's the same thing. You have to understand that this country is founded upon and goes and thrives upon the idea of making money. And when you look at it, that's what all of this boils down to, believe it or not. And I'm going to try to explain how that is. First of all, the attitudes and opinions that we all have, some of us do, like myself. But a lot of people don't formulate their own opinions, and they don't know why they think the way that they do. But I'm here to say that it's because of what you see, and it's because of what you listen to. On television, they inundate you with images all day long. Images. Images of what is beautiful, images of what is in, images of what is out. They paint a picture, okay, for you. And that's in an effort to make money, period. Okay, I want you all to conduct one small experiment when you watch any of your favorite television shows. I guarantee you that within an hour time span, you see at least 1 or 2 ads for some kind of weight loss program, whether it be food or whether it be a new pill or whatever. But strategically placed in between that, you got commercials of McDonald's and restaurants and stuff. Now, it really depends on what program you watch, but I'm talking about mainly prime time, or it's horrible during the day when they feel that women are watching, like during soap opera time or whatever. It's horrible that time of the day, and it's much more blatant. Then later on at night, they'll give you all these other things. What they do is they try to make you feel inferior, okay? And then when you go out, run out and buy whatever product it is that you bought from them and achieve whatever it is that they told you you must achieve in order to be beautiful or thin or whatever, then you start to look down upon those other people who haven't done that, because you did it in order to boost your own self-esteem, okay? It's a whole big vanity industry out there. Now, there's nothing wrong with looking nice. There's nothing wrong with eating healthy. There's nothing wrong with eating out, okay? But you do everything in moderation, and you have to understand why you are doing these things. You know, you have these jingles in your head. If somebody said to you, you deserve a break today. Yep, you knew it. You know what I'm saying? And run for the border. You knew that one too, didn't you? Why do you know it? Because they drove this stuff in your head. That Run for the Border commercial hasn't been on in a million years. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even think the McDonald's one has either. But you still know it was associated with McDonald's and Taco Bell. Why is that? Because they know if they can capture your attention, if they can repeat something enough, they will imprint it in your brain. And then when you hear those words in your head, you deserve a break today or run for the border, guess where you're going? To buy that trash and put it in your body. And then you upset because now you're feeling all crazy and your gut is busting out and all this. So now you got to go lose weight. You got Bally's commercials on TV. You got this, you got that. And it's a whole industry. But as far as what it is also, it's a division that they cause between people. It's always something versus something. You got fat versus skinny, light versus dark, black versus white, Republicans versus Democrats. You have rich versus poor. There's always polar opposite ends to everything. And what the media does and what television programming does and what specifically our news media on ABC, CBS, and NBC do is they play off of it, and they interject certain things in order to make you, the viewer, choose a side. Because there's no such thing as not being a Democrat or Republican. If you live here, you have to be one or the other, as far as they're concerned. They don't even acknowledge anybody else, number one. Or you have to be a liberal, or you have to be a conservative. Or they might say a moderate. Then they get all these terms, moderate, liberal, and this and that. It's all bullshit, okay? What it is like I said, they want you to have something to be opposed to, so they can interject something else on the other side or on the back end of it, and then make you feel a part of something. And then, yay! Just like when you go to a famous football game, if your team wins, everything is fine. And if your team loses, you have something to bitch about. And I'm saying these things very simplistically, but that's basically what it boils down to. And people don't question it. They just go right along with it, and they run right headlong into it. So back around to the light-skinned black women versus brown-skinned black women issue. We have been taught by what we see on television and in movies and wherever else that something is more appropriate than something else. And when we see certain kinds of people on there, they always have a certain persona or attitude. Okay, you know, back in the day when you had a dark-skinned sister up there, she was the one with the attitude. She the one who was swinging the head or whatever, or she was out there hooking, or she was out there on drugs or whatever. She was, you know, whatever. You know, Candy Jones, she made her career off of being a heroin addict in every fucking movie she was in. You know, it was just like, why is she always a junkie? She a junkie on Law and Order. She a junkie on this movie. But that is the role that they placed her in. And you all need to see that when we have seen these depictions of black men and black women in our media, they had certain things attached to that, and they played that image over and over and over again. And then when you have one who transcends all that, or who they allow to do something else, it's still for another purpose. You know, all you Will Smith fans out there, look at the kinds of roles that Will Smith is getting now. And everybody thinks it's because, you know, we live in a much more liberal country and this and that. No, no, no. Do you notice that he's the only one that they've given those roles to? You know? Why? He was the polar opposite of Tom Cruise. You know? They wanted to stick one here and one there. And as far as black women go, where are they? You know, you have Vivica Fox, and you have Jada Pinkett Smith, and you have all these women, but you notice they always try to lump those together in these so-called black movies where none of them are satisfied. You got a bunch of women sitting around the table bitching about how they man doing this, man doing that. You got this problem, this one's man's creeping. This one over here is a slut, and she going and doing her thing. This one over here got a little Jesus in her, but you know, it's still not good enough. She's still a depressed and miserable person. This one, I mean, it's always these round table black women movies where you got a circle of girlfriends, and then on the other end a circle of black guys. Okay, and they got all these damn issues. I mean, serious issues. Do you see the polar opposite of that in other movies that are out there depicting Caucasian individuals to that degree? Why? Ask yourself why. But I just wanted to say again that whenever you view these things, you really need to pay attention, and I can't stress that enough. And you really need to formulate your own ideas about what is beauty. I mean, as far as a person being larger or a person being skinny, that's in the eye of the beholder too. I know men who love big women, won't take nothing less. Proud of them too. Take them outside, go everywhere where they ain't had them. Like everybody who is shallow says that they should. If you're beautiful, go ahead and be that. You know, it doesn't matter if you're big or small or whatever. And like I said before, being a larger person only to me has something to do with your physical health. If you are at the size where it is no longer healthy for you to be that size, then yes, please, by all means, consider losing some weight. But if you are trying to just lose weight so that you fit a certain mold or standard that someone else is trying to give to you, That's the wrong reason. That's why a lot of people go up and down a yo-yo diet, because they're not doing it for the right reasons. They're doing it just because they think they're supposed to do this in order to get a date, or they're supposed to do this in order to be loved or to get a job, you know, because of how other people out there in the world are treating them. But that's all I'm gonna say. For right now, I'll be back. It's Pinky. Bye bye.